right, let's talk about what women should be bringing to the table, since a lot of you guys don't know how this works. When my needs are met and I feel safe and secure in my relationship, that allows my feminine energy to come out. When a man treats me correctly, he can expect to be treated like a king. If a man's making me feel valued, I will make sure that he feels valued as well.
For the most part, what she's talking about when it comes to reciprocation, I totally agree with. But the part that a lot of women do not see in this is that it's all about receiving first and then deciding to give. Let's face it, men are expected to give, and then maybe receive the bare minimum of any basic relationship, let alone an intimate one. We see this all the time where a woman's level of satisfaction within a relationship is dependent on how much her man is giving to her. But the problem with this is that the minute he falters, the minute he loses his job, the minute he's suffering from a mental health issue, she's done, she's gone. And she'll just say it's because she's just not happy. And in these cases, we all know that it's because it was all about what he was giving to her in the first place. It's why men end up feeling used, and it's why men want women that are bringing more to the table in the first place.
Will you ever cheat on him?
Yeah, I would, but he wouldn't.
Whoa.
And you wonder why there's a whole group of men that are just done dating. Because they would rather be alone doing their own thing rather than investing in a girl that has no loyalty.
I recently was going on dates with a man, and nice guy, good guy, treated me well. But once I realized that he was not my husband, because I'm only looking for husband energy at the moment, I ended things with him, and I sent him a text because it wasn't that serious, I didn't feel like I needed to do it in person. Anyway, so I sent him a text, told him that I didn't see it going any further. And he agreed. He said that he didn't think that he could make me happy. And while I appreciate that, it was a very kind response, he didn't even try. He didn't even try and say that he wanted to change, that he wanted to whatever. I can be manipulated. I will listen to you. But you didn't even try.
Good men have zero interest in these relationship games and chasing something that doesn't want to be caught. They no longer even question if you're trying to play a game. They just take what you say at face value. And it sounds like he wanted wife energy, not red flag, want to play games, not so serious girl energy. So at that point he said, okay, yeah, I agree. Move on.
Anybody remember a time back in the day when dating was, hey, I like you, you like me, let's give this a go? Because nowadays, exhausting. Why? Great question to literally nobody that asked me that, but let's talk about it. Nowadays, we gotta play this ridiculous game that I don't even think people want to play, but we have to play. It's the game that if I'm interested, I can't act interested, because if I'm coming off as too interested, then you're no longer gonna be interested. So now for me to get you engaged, I have to be playfully condescending, purposely unattentive, and readily unavailable, because ladies, if I'm too nice, that's ugh, right? But if I'm too much of an asshole, well, nobody likes an asshole. So I gotta find that in between. And here's the thing, it's different with every woman on the planet. I already need a nap. Also, what does my sign have to do with us? I just wanted to get sushi, not dissect the fact that I was born in June, which, by the way, I had zero control over. And my favorite part is when the older generation goes, when are you gonna settle down? I don't know, Bill, okay? It's not 1974 anymore, okay? You competed with literally one guy in your town named Joe. I'm competing with every Joe named Joe on her phone right here. And in addition to that, there's usually an ex that doesn't seem to go away, baggage too heavy to carry, and skeletons in closets that weren't your fault, but you got to deal with.
The worst text to send a girl. The morning text. Good morning, sweetheart. How are you doing? Hope you slept well. You're basically saying you're a simp. That text is not masculine. That is not a good text. It shows needy. It just shows that oh, I was thinking about you and I was hoping your morning was going well. That's not what you want to come across as.
Look, ladies, if a man wants to send a good morning text, then he's sending the text. And if the woman that he's sending it to does not appreciate it, that is a her problem. Because all of these specific texting rules, they're all games. If there is something that I absolutely know that I always hear from my male followers, it's that they want a woman that is interested in them. The only thing that I agree with is that you shouldn't have full-on conversations via text, because there's a better way to do it, and that's talking in person or over the phone. But for anyone that believes that dating needs to consist of not showing interest and not communicating, you're not trying to have a relationship, you're trying to play a game. And the good men that have zero desire for games are not even going to look your way.
I think guys who are way too nice are so unattractive. It's such a ick. But guys who are kind of dickheads and then they can be nice when I want them to be, that's that's
so guys are a dicks. You think they can change. Has it ever happened? Has a guy ever changed?
No.
This is exactly why there are so many men that are just done dating. Because if they're a good man, they're being told by this type of woman that he's too nice. And she admits she keeps going for that bad boy type that she's hoping to change into a nice guy just for her. Good men don't work like that, and they don't want that. But what they're being forced to do is weave through this toxic craziness and trying to stay true to themselves, all while hoping that by the time that they do find their match, which is also a healthy mindset, that they're ready for her. Which is really easier said than done, because if you've run into this mindset from a woman over and over and over again as a man, it's just naturally going to be harder and harder to believe as a man that a woman is genuinely interested in who you are as a man that will treat her well. And that is what's messed up.
It's fair enough. But what are you into? Transformers? Pokemon, you child?
As a happily single man in his late 20s, allow me to explain this phenomenon you ladies are turning into a trending sound. Ladies, you're talking to this guy in his late 20s, early 30s. He's got it together. He's a cool dude. You really, really like him, but he's really cautious to get into a relationship. You're gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're really into him, but he's too preoccupied building Legos and dressing up like Star Wars characters. There's a 90% chance he spent his entire adolescence, his teenage years, his early 20s in relationships, giving everything that he possibly could to these women that inevitably abandoned him, used him, or abused him. And look at him now. There he is, reading comic books, watching Lord of the Rings. You should be lucky if he asks you to a Nerf gun battle. For probably the first time in his life, he's putting what he loves in himself first. You might think it's nerdy, childish, immature. You might get mad at him for it, but trust me, it's nothing that he hasn't heard before from a woman. There's a lot of guys out there that know exactly what I'm talking about, and to those guys, feel free to come over anytime. We'll build Legos and drink beer together. I got you.
Guys like having something to chase.
No, they do not, especially good men, because they would rather keep their peace than to feel like they're on this constant treadmill of having to prove what they could be or do for that woman. And all the while, having to convince her of this with receiving no to minimal effort in return.
Do you think the biggest issue with modern dating is?
I think like men think the grass is always greener. They always think they...
Men absolutely do not have this mindset. That's why they don't have the long list of expectations from a woman. They literally just want to meet somebody that is attractive, that is nice, and can make conversation with them, and that can actually be loyal.
You want to know why most good men remain single, myself included? It's because all of us have had times in our life where we're doing perfectly fine on our own. We're financially set. We're living life on our own. We don't need anybody. But they happen to come into our life, make us feel like maybe this is the one time that she's going to make me feel special. Say things like, you're a catch. You're my dream man. You're so this. You're so that. I can't believe I found you. I can't believe I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Only to do what? To push him out of your life and act like strangers. The same thing you were before you met. So why even bother me? Why even bother that man? Why? Good men, like myself, it's not that we can't get a woman. It's because every time we try, we're shown exactly why we're better off alone. Instead, these women want to go after the guy that doesn't want them. And then they complain about why they're hurting and why he hurts them. The guy either wants you or he doesn't. There's no middle ground.